Hello friends, this is Janie from Graham's Backyard Living, and as promised I was going to show you a little bit of what how I was going to spray and how I use this all around the house and in my chicken coop. And originally got it, and it's safe for around animals and the premises. So I was out here cleaning the front flower bed, which is about that time of year to get it cleaned out, and people say that mint keeps ants away. No, because I started this bed and I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm going to refurbish this bed and I'll show you. I'll have to add some pictures later on because I'm not going to bore you with the full, because it's going to take me a while. It's really gotten away from me. So if you can see, the mint has really taken over, and really all I want is plants in pots and stuff. So I'm going to deadhead this. Where are my clippers? So I'm going to show you a lot of my mums. I went and let them bud out a little bit, but when it's so hot, mums are for the fall time. So I'll show you deadheading. So on this one, see all the dead edge? I'm just going to take and clip all that down and cut all that back, cut all those heads off, and then it'll start coming back, and then it'll be ready to bloom for the fall. And this is where it goes right there. So I pulled that up and it was full of ants. So I sprayed it a little bit, and I can see some ants crawling around there. So I'm going to clean all of this out, just have my mums and my 2 big pots in there. And I'm going to set this up over here and try and show you. So here I've got my bottle filled up. Fill my bottle up, and if you can see how awkward it is to set it down somewhere, but it has a quick connect, so you can connect it and disconnect it. And that's what I need to do, because the last one I tried to set it like I'm doing right now, and I shouldn't be doing that, and broke the nozzle on it. So whenever you store it or you're setting it down, you need to take that bottle off, and I'm just too lazy. I don't do all that. So I'm going to try and set this up over here. And like I said, I'll still show one of like my husband, with my husband filming it when I get ready to do the chicken coop. I'm going to get back there. It's getting a little bit hot. It's getting back into the 90s again. But I need to get on that chicken coop and get that all cleaned up. So this is what I showed before. What I did was, and I go around the house. So it just does like this. And you can do a concentrated spray, or you can change the nozzles over here and get a wider spray if that's what you want. Right now I'm doing the 25% spray. And it's more of a concentrated spray. And I'm going to go around and pull all of my mums out of here. And then I'm going to spray it. And this is what I use, like I said, around my house. I used around the house, around the walls, the lower, all around my windows, and around the, and then of course these flower beds need it, because I do have a lot of rocks in here, and that probably harbors a lot of these ants. But once I spray in here, I tell you, I won't have any ants at all. So I'll spray all that, and anytime I see any ants coming up and stuff, I grab my sprayer. Like I said, I have a hand sprayer just to quick hit a spot, or I have this to go all the way around the house. And I'll show you this little alcove. And this is what leads right up to the kitchen area. I was having the laundry room, the kitchen area, all this is right back here. So what I do is I just go inside there, let it soak down up underneath there. And of course, if you know, when I spray this, it's going to rain. So maybe it's a good thing. It does get a little clogged up or a little backed up. I have to clean. There's a filter in there that you have to clean. So I need to clean that filter. But I'll just go all around here. And especially right here where you have all these little drains. these connections that run into the house. I will just spray all that. And then I'll get around the vent dryer, the dryer vent right there, and get all in there. And it takes care of spiders, it takes care of, but like I said, our main concern was the ants. And you see all kinds of animals just running whenever I spray it. So that, my little filter, this is kind of a pain in the butt. That little filter gets clogged up pretty easy. Oh, I just heard thundering. That filter will get clogged up a little bit, but then I shake it out and it runs some more. But this sprayer I got from Harbor Freight. Let me turn this around. Whew, it's hard to do all this filming by yourself, but the sprayer comes from Harbor Freight. And like I said, I gotta figure out how to pronounce that. I have to read it to get the pronunciation right. Permactin comes, I ordered it off of Amazon. I've gotten some, I think at Tractor Supply I may have gotten some. But this is what I use. And I wanted to show you. There's a good shot of it. And for here in this area, since it's been neglected for so long, I mean, it's just covered in ants. So I'm doing a little bit stronger. You can do stronger, you can do lighter. Just for maintenance, you can do a lighter spray. And then, you know, for heavier areas, for initial starting out spraying, you can do it a little bit heavier, however you want to do it. Just like with cooking, I'm not a big measurer of things. I kind of look at it, and the milkiness of it kind of tells me how thick it is. But I did find some ants in these flower beds, these beds over here. I was cleaning them out. So I'm going to do a good spray all along this front. I'm going to clean that out, and so the ants don't try and move. I'm spraying them as I go. And then, of course, I just did the alcove, and then I'll do the front of the house here along the base. And I tell you folks, if you're looking for a ant solution, getting rid of those ants, and this stuff has worked great. The only thing I've had problems with is like in the flower beds, and then some in my garden. If I put a pot down, they all gather up underneath that pot. So I move pots. I have all my strawberries in pots, and they get in there pretty bad. So, and whenever I was telling you, I spray it in the garden, I spray the ground outside my raised beds. I don't spray in my raised beds. I'm not going to spray any of my food or any of my vegetables or anything like that. I'm going to spray around the base of my raised beds. And if I move, like I move my strawberries, which are in planter boxes, also, you know, I normally have to spray that because ants collect up in there. As much debris and as much stuff that you can keep picked up out of your yard, the better you are. Like planters and stuff, that's where the ants gather at, and I'll spray it. And if I'm hitting something else, and those planter boxes, I look at them and I don't have the time to move them all or whatever, I'll spray right around the edge of them and get them sprayed really good. But I spray the ground, I spray the fence line, I spray all that. That's the only little bit of problem that I've had with ants. But absolutely no ants in the house, where we've been battling that probably for the last 5 years of constantly having ants in the kitchen area. We spray the kitchen, we clean the kitchen, and of course, you know, they can come in through that alcove, in through those connections where the washer, the dryer is, the dryer vent, all of that, where they come up in there. And we've had pest control, we have regular pest control, we have pest control out here, putting those ant things in the ground and stuff, and there's never nothing in there. And like I said, for 5 years, we've been battling that. But this stuff, I I will continue to buy it. I've purchased it several times over, and anytime throughout the winter that we have a nice day or a coming on spring especially, get on it right away, start spraying in the springtime, and if it's anything, I tell you, I promise you, you won't have near the ants that so many people have to battle. And they're still eating up my strawberries and got into my strawberries and stuff. But like I said, I'm still battling that. But this winter and into the early spring, my walkways and everything, I'm gonna spray all that regularly. I'm gonna spray the walkways, the ground, all around the fence line and everything. My backyard garden is up against a field, so I'm going to spray that real heavy, and hopefully take care of the ant problem in the garden for this next year. So stay tuned, and I just wanted to come on here and give you a quick show of that sprayer and what I'm doing today. I'm cleaning out this bed. I'm taking a break from tomatoes. I'll show you what I'm doing. I am so tired of tomatoes. And somebody was on here going, they process tomatoes like 5, 10, or 25 pounds or something of tomatoes. But I'm telling you, they don't go a long way. And especially with these that I have. Let me show you. So this is the last bin that I have of tomatoes. So these are my jars of tomatoes. I have another batch of tomatoes like this. So I'm trying to do 5 and 6 at a time. That's what fits in the water bath canner. So I'll do this afternoon. When it gets too hot outside, I'll do another batch of 5 or 6. I quit at 5 yesterday, peeling them and getting them all in here. But yeah, you're correct. You're not doing anything wrong. Somebody was asking, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. It's just that these tomatoes don't go a long way. And see, I even see how much liquid I had in the bottom. I crushed those down. I didn't want to crush them, but I crushed them down and really packed them in there. And then that's what I got with those. But those are just my stewed tomatoes, my tomatoes for my soups and stuff. And then here's my ketchup. So I got ketchup here that I got done, and oh my gosh, it's wonderful. I showed you the recipe on my other film, and then 2 cans of bruschetta there, 4 more cans of bruschetta here. All of this is ketchup. This is my ketchup for the year. And of course, a while back I did turkey broth. Let me tell you, I wasn't too sure about turkey, so back last Christmas, close to the end of the holidays, I processed, I bought the turkeys, go on sale, and they were 88 cents a pound. Some people were getting them for 60, 75 cents a pound, something crazy like that. I thought 88 cents a pound was really good. So I didn't save the price on the whole turkey. So one turkey I cooked up, and I couldn't figure out a lot of things to do with the one cooked turkey. We did eat, sliced it up. We did some turkey sandwiches. I might as well take a break with you all. It's starting to get warm again. We're supposed to be back up in the 90 or 90, exactly 90, but they said it's only going to be like that for like a couple of hours in the hottest part of the day, and then it'll drop back down. But so anyway, I had the other turkey, so I'm researching on what to do with it. So I when we went to the Homestead conference or whatever festival, whatever you want to call it, up in Columbia, Tennessee, they did a demonstration on processing chickens, and we've done our own chickens before, but you can always learn something going to one of those. So my husband, sat all through the whole thing on how to part out a chicken. So a turkey can't be that much more different. So I thawed out the turkey and got it all thawed out, and so we set up. And see, I've got the meat grinder. I've got the thing that can fill the bags and stuff. So I said, shoot, I'm just gonna process this turkey raw, and we just parted it out like we would do a chicken. And I ground up the turkey, and then I have beef fat, so I added I like a lot of fat in my beef, so in my hamburger meat usually, or in the deer meat, but so I did a little bit more, maybe 20%, maybe 15% beef fat. I added back to the turkey. We shot it into the bags, and I froze it. So I got brave enough. I said, okay, we're gonna try it just as hamburgers. So I have my regular, hamburger seasoning that I put on my regular hamburgers. So I wasn't going to go that far and not season it at all, because I wanted to get the taste. What does it taste like? Because mostly however I cook turkey or whatever, it really doesn't have no taste to it. So I thawed out 2 pounds and made up hamburgers, seasoned it with my regular hamburger seasoning. It's a mixture of seasoning and stuff. Barbecued them on the grill, and let me tell you what, oh my goodness, that was the best hamburger. And we didn't add no salt, didn't add no pepper, didn't add no other seasoning or anything to it. And of course we had to try my new ketchup, my new batches of ketchup, which I have my husband do the taste test. He loved it. Still working on the thickness. He would like it a little bit thicker, but I did have to double the recipe, and I probably should have did a little bit more of the gel, that sets up, but it's fine. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be like store-bought, but let me tell you what, those were wonderful. So I said, you know what? I don't remember. The turkey was real cheap, so it was like $15 at the most for this large turkey, and I don't even remember how many. And I think I got 13 pounds, 1 pound bags of turkey. So I was telling my husband, I said, even if we paid $13, $15, I can't remember what it was. I said, I want to pay attention to it more next time. But even that's going to be our beef alternative. I'm sorry, but $7 a pound. Of course, I buy mine from the farm, from a farm store. So $7 a pound versus maybe $1.25, if even that, for a turkey burger. We're sold. I mean, I can always make ground turkey, and make tacos. You can make tacos. You can make your sloppy joes. You can make your meatloaf and camouflage it with a lot of seasoning. And that's what I was going to do with it. But as good, my husband even he said, so I made up 2 pounds because I knew I'm trying to make him stuff for lunch the next day. He said, is it okay? Do you want another one for your lunch, or can I take it so I can have all the guys try it? I said, take it. I said, if I wanted to make me up one, I could thaw me out another pound and cook some up. But it was a wonderful, it was a great tasting burger. And in this day and age, if you're trying to cut corners or figure out where you can, the best thing you can do is own your own grinder. And see, we do it for our deer meat. Have a grinder, have a slicer, have a shooter where you put it in there and shoot it. You can make your own sausages. We've made summer sausage. We've made what are the hot dogs? Now it's lost my mind. But anyway, old age sets in. But anyway, so if you want to cut corners, or if you looking for a beef alternative, I'm telling you folks, that was the best hamburger that we've eaten, and the most flavorful. And it's just seasoning. You can look up a hamburger seasoning, or I get that Masters seasoning from the store. If you want to buy it from the store, just get the hamburger uh, Mastercraft or something like that. Just any kind of seasoning, hamburger seasoning that you want to get from the store, and mix all that in and make you up some hamburgers. You would not believe. I'm just, it's crazy how wonderful that is. But so and then the cost, you're talking $1 a pound versus $7 a pound. And if beef or ground meats and stuff is what you eat a lot of, there's no comparison. I don't know how much a turkey is today, but I'm still trying to talk my husband into the land and getting a little bit more land and being able to raise, he wants guineas, he likes pheasants. I said, I'll raise all that for you if I had the land. But here in the neighborhood, I said, 50 chickens is about done us in. So I said, what's even more economical is if I can raise those turkeys myself. And we can do ground turkey, and we will have our meat, and I might even try some chicken like that, adding some beef fat to it, and do chicken nuggets. I've tried to do chicken nuggets before, but I put them in the freezer, and they took on a lot of that freezer taste. But if I have the bags, I will just make it up in a pound bag, and then make my chicken nuggets from there, and then deep fry them or whatever. So there's a lot of things, you think about in cost these days that you're going to have to do to cut corners, or to, be able to provide your family with a good meal. And I'm telling you, there's no comparison with that turkey. Even if it wasn't about the cost, just the flavor just blows me away. So try that sometime, and, process you up a turkey, especially with the holidays coming up. Watch the turkey prices. Right after Thanksgiving, they go on sale, and I think they're on sale through the Christmas season. And then right after Christmas, they're dirt cheap. Buy you up a couple of them and process them out, the meat, and make you put it in pound bags. And I promise you, if you just do some of that seasoning on there and barbecue them. I put them out on the barbecue, and my husband's like, where did you get all that barbecue flavor, and where'd you get all that? I'm like, I just cook them just like I would beef, the same way. And you just got to make sure that you can't have it medium or whatever. They have to be cooked all the way through, because it is turkey. But and that was one of my things, is I can't eat a lot of dry meat and stuff, and I thought it would really dry it out. But with that beef fat, or you can, if you prefer, I'm going to try some with pork fat. I've tried both, and I do like the beef. When I do the deer, if we get a deer and I process a bunch of deer meat, I do some in pork and I do some in beef, and I do prefer the beef fat. But just grind it up with some beef fat, and they were as moist as they can be, and they were wonderful. I'm going to have to go hunt me up some cheap turkeys and get them processed and get them done, even if we have to buy them. I'd like to buy a couple from a farm, and we do have a chicken plucker, and they will do up to a certain poundage. It may not do it perfect, but I'd like to do a couple of turkeys from the farm and see if it turns out just as good. So those are some things that I'm learning, and just new discoveries. And I'm thinking, gosh, for the price of what beef is today, and I love my beef. I like cooking with my beef. But if you need an alternative, try turkey. And I haven't looked. I'm going to go check out the store the next time I'm at the store. I don't go to the store very often. But the next time, I'm going to see how much ground turkey is a pound. And for you to do it yourself in a year's time, that equipment, it may look a little bit expensive. And we bought a couple of things, and then another year, like packing. We're packing those pound by hand. That was pain in the butt, but that's the only thing we knew, so that's what we did. And then the next year, we got the stuffer because we wanted to make summer sausage out of some deer and stuff. So you have to have that compactor and it to blow it into the skins. So we had to get that. But we just got a piece here and a piece there, and like over a year's time, you pick up a piece here and you pick up a piece there, and it'll pay for itself in a year's time in you processing your own meats and stuff. So I just wanted to give you that little tidbit. I wasn't going to go into all that, so that's a lot to absorb in all this, but I'll take a picture and I'll post a picture on my Facebook page after I get this done. And thank the Lord, we got some clouds coming in, so it's kind of getting still. Now, when I get back to working and stuff, I'll see if I start sweating again. But then I'll have to go pick some more tomatoes and add to the pile over here. But the Lord has blessed me this year with a great garden, couple of health issues, but I'm working through them and just keep moving on. Just let me say, when you don't have your feet, you're really handicapped. And I have a stress fracture, is what they say, on my right foot. So I'll wear my boot a little bit here and a little bit there, but in 90-degree heat and sweating, oh, that thing is awful. But I can go without it for a little while, and like it's just going to be time for it to heal. And just when my foot's hurting me, I just wear that boot, and kind of limited. I don't want to get up and move, and maybe that's not such a bad thing. I need to sit and rest a little. That tells me I need to sit and rest a little bit and slow down. But the Lord has blessed me with the health that I have, and the garden's been great. I'm putting away a lot of stuff. And just having some great food to be able to put for me and my husband. And he even called the kids. He goes, I'm going to take this last hamburger, so you're going to have to make a couple up, because I told the kids I wanted them to taste that. So I might be cooking up a whole nother batch for the kids that have time to come over and try a turkey burger. So like I'm saying, try it and you tell me what you think. It was wonderful. I think it was. But anyway, you all have a blessed day, and hopefully you're a little bit cooler and the weather is kind of calming down where you're at, and enjoy the rest of your summer. And like I said, the kids start school next week. Hallelujah. We'll take a break and just celebrate that and move on with our journey. And thank you all for coming on this journey with me and watching me and listening to me. And if you like my content, I try and keep it interesting and not too long. I don't want to bore you too much. I watch the time and not try and get too much in here. But really, I'm just documenting it because, I'm 62, going to be 63 this year. And I remember memories of my mom and dad and my mom and stuff. But it's just cool that I would be able to go on, click on YouTube and follow my mom on a journey with whatever she was doing. She grew, they had greenhouses and grew plants and that they sold, like nursery plants and stuff. She didn't do a whole lot of gardening, but it would be cool just to look it up. And now years, it'd be 40 years. I can't even remember what year it was, 30 years ago, that she passed away. But she was 90 years old, lived a good long life, and I'm just kind of documenting this so my kids can show my grandkids, and then we have grandkids that live away from us, and anytime they can go on YouTube on my channel and see my journey. And that's kind of what my original thought process was, is I would love for my kids, my grandkids, hey, this is your grandma, and this is the house, and this is the garden she grew and all the food she did. And I would love for them to just be able to click on a button and go and watch my channel. But along the way, if I can get a lot more followers and a lot more content, it's great. And I appreciate everybody. If you love my content, share and invite other people. I watched the Eddy family farm and their journey, and I watch them present day, so I had to go back and watch some of their other films, and then I showed a picture of the dogs going crazy. The one dog, most dogs can't see two-dimensional, but the one dog, he watches the TV. He sees the TV. So I watch it on TV, that Eddy Family Farms. So if you want another family to follow, check them out. I just him cutting hay and trying to get all the bales of hay in, and the kids helping and putting up fencing and stuff. I don't know why that just captivates me and captures me. I guess that's because I'm wanting land of my own, and this little sweat bee keeps landing on me. Got him. But, I'm wanting land of my own. I'm wanting to do that. Of course, I'm not 40 years old. Me and my husband are not 40, in our 40s. He's getting ready to retire in the next couple of years. And I said, I've got to do something to keep you busy and out of the house. But that's what I keep looking at when I find a piece of property here and there, looking at it. But I guess I'm living that dream through the Eddy Family Farms, and I'm just so fixated on all of the things, because he does the same things I'm wanting to do. He's got the turkeys, he's raising the chickens, he's got the young kids now that he's being able to mentor and be right there one-on-one with, and that's great. That's great to see. So check out them, the Eddy Family Farm on YouTube, if you're looking for another venue or another one to watch, because I watch them all the time. And I would love for you to share my videos, and if you like my content, or if there's something else you want to see. Like I said, mine is my little backyard square acre. I don't have a whole lot of land to work with, so I don't have a lot to do, but that would be my dream, is to have some goats and do some goat milk and be able to cook with the milk, and maybe a cow somewhere down the road, and like I said, turkeys, and my husband loves pheasants and guineas and all that stuff, but I could not do guineas in a square acre. That's what I keep trying to tell him. I said, do not bring home a guinea. So we had a couple that would come down from the farm up the street, and one of them got killed in, I guess, a predator got it, and we found it in our front yard. But anyway, I want to get off of here. I don't want to keep you that long. So thank you for following me, and share with people. I really need to up my followers and my content so I can move on and continue with my journey. And somebody just drove up the driveway, so there goes the dogs. I got to round them up. So you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.